Hello, my crafty friends. Well, today I have a super simple fun fold card idea that I want to share with you. It's very unique in that it has a front step and it also pops up. Hi, it's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. In this episode of Stamptastic TV, I have two different card ideas that I'll share with you that feature this front step pop-up card design. Now the cards actually fold flat for mailing, but then they pop up beautifully, and there's a little step in the front here and in the back. So it's kind of like two different little steps that allow this card to stand beautifully for display, and then again it lays flat for mailing. So it might look complicated, but you will be surprised at how simple it is to create. Now the cards in this video feature the Thankful Garden bundle from Stampin Up. So this particular bundle is an online exclusive, and it includes this beautiful stamp set. And of course, there's also a coordinating die set. So the thing that is unique about this bundle are the masks that come with it. So you can use these masks to add different details and design to each of the flower images in the stamp set. So I'll show you how to use the masks. We're going to actually create this card today, but the masks work the same way whether you're coloring in this flower or you're coloring in this one. Okay, so this is the card we are going to create, and basically the fun fold section is on the front of the card. So it has this panel that is attached to the front of the card, and then it has a regular card base, so an A2 size card base. But it gives you this fun little step design that enables this card to stand and display just beautifully. So let me show you how to create this. So you're going to start with a piece of cardstock, which is cut at 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and then it's just scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. And so this will create your A2 size card, and this is a top folding card. Now to create the front fun fold panel, you're going to start with a 4 by 9 3/4 inch piece of cardstock. So I'm using thick basic white cardstock. And we're going to score this piece on that 9 3/4 inch side. We're going to start at 2 1/4 inches, and we'll just make a score line. And then we'll scoot this over to 4 1/2 inches and make another score line. All right, so once you have completed the score lines, you can just accordion fold this. So it creates this little accordion fold, this little step on the side, and this piece is actually going to get adhered to our card base. Okay, so once you have created this fun fold section, we're going to take this and we're going to adhere it to the front of this green card base. So this is that A2 style card base. And I'm just going to add some glue right to the back of this. And we'll adhere it directly to the card front. All right, so that is what your card will look like from the side. You'll have this little step in the front, and then this is your regular A2 size card base in the back. So it gives you a really nice little fun fold that stands up for display. Now you can decorate this with any products that you like. You can use any colors. I'm going to stick with products from the Lovely Garden Suite. So the first thing I'm going to do is just open this up, and we are going to add a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece of pattern paper right in the background here. And then I'm just going to decorate these two steps. I'm going to add a 2 by 3 3/4 inch piece of pattern paper down to this section. So I'm just kind of alternating the different patterns. And then we'll take another 2 by 3 3/4 inch piece of this pattern, and we're going to put it right on the front. Now we're going to create the panel for the front of this card. So this is the panel that will go right on this bottom step down here. And so this piece is just a 3 by 4 1/4 inch piece. And then I embossed a piece of white cardstock. So this piece is 2 3/4 by 4. So we'll just adhere these two pieces together. All right, and once you have those two pieces together, then you want to attach the bottom part of this to this little accordion fold section, to this front flap right here. So we're going to use a little bit of tear and tape to do that. So I will add some down on the bottom. So I am using tear and tape because it's just a little stronger adhesive and it'll just hold this panel in place nicely. And I like to use it with interactive cards, so that is why I'm using it. All right, so that is what our fun fold looks like so far. Now let's go ahead and add some decorations to the inside of the card. So I just have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of white cardstock. And then I'm just using up a little scrap piece of patterned paper. So I'm just going to adhere this to the left side. So this piece is about 1 by 3 3/4 inches. So we'll just add that there. And then we'll flip this card all the way open to the inside and we'll just add this piece on the inside. Now, of course, you can add stamped images or anything else that you would like, but we're just going to make this very simple. All right, so that's what our card looks like at this point. Now we are ready to create the focal point. So we're going to start with a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of white cardstock. You really just need a scrap piece of white. And I'm going to use actually early espresso ink. And I'm going to ink up one of the images from this set. Now we're going to use some of these masks to add some color to this particular image. So there is a mask here that you can use to completely color in the flower, but I just want to add a little bit of color. I don't want the entire flower colored in. So what I want to do is just use the last 2 masks just to add little bits of color. I want to keep the flower white and just add a little bit of yellow around to accent the flower. So we're not going to use this first mask, but we are going to use these other 2 masks. So this mask is actually mask number 2, and there's a little 2 in the corner here. So I'm just going to lay this over the image, and I like to tape the mask down. So I'm just going to use a little bit of washi tape just to hold this mask in place. So we're going to add a piece here and here. And then I'm going to use some crushed curry ink. And we're just going to use a little blending brush. And I just want to go very lightly. I just want a very light touch. And we'll just go all over the flower. So this is a pretty dark ink, but if you use a light touch, you can get, you know, just a really light shade of this crushed curry. So we'll just go all over. And now we'll remove this mask. And you can see how it gave just a really nice light shade of yellow. And now we're going to take the more detailed mask and we're going to lay this over. And now we're going to use the exact same color ink. So this is crushed curry. And we're just going to go a little heavier handed on here to add these details. All right, so let's remove the mask. So you can see how we have the lighter one, which I did first, and now we have a darker accent on these flowers. And don't worry about getting any extra on this paper because we're gonna die cut this flower out. And so with the leaves, I'm going to do the same thing. There are 2 different masks for the leaves. There's this mask, which allows you to color in everything. But I just want to add a little bit of accent, so I don't want to color in the whole entire leaf. I just want the accent part of the leaf. So we are going to line this mask up on this image. And now I'm going to use some garden green, and we will add some color to the leaves. All right, so let's take this off. And now we have our flower. So let's die cut this out and we can add it to our card. Okay, so once you die cut it out, you're ready to add it to the card front, but just look at how beautiful that is. Just by using just 2 of the 3 masks, it just turns out just gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is actually trim off the bottom of this because we're going to cover that up with the greeting. So I'm just going to pop this up right in the center of our card. And then the greeting I just created on a scrap piece of white cardstock, and I use the stylish shape dies to cut this out. So we'll just pop this up on the bottom here with a couple dimensionals. And so that is your card. It just turns out so beautiful, and I just love all the different folds in here. And you can see how it folds flat for mailing, so you don't have to worry about that. And then, of course, you can add any kind of embellishments you want. I just added a couple sequins on here, but the card really doesn't need embellishing. It's beautiful as it is. Okay, so there you go. Now you have a fun and simple card idea to create using this front step pop-up card design. And if you enjoyed these card ideas, feel free to download the printable tutorial. You can find the link in the description below this video. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your friends. And leave me a comment below to let me know what you enjoyed most about the video and the cards shared here today. Have a fun and creative day, my friends. Take care.